This is the plant I'm going to start with. It's an aloe vera plant that I have in my house. It's lovely because it's got lots of different parts to it that will allow me to gauge proportion and scale when I'm observing and drawing it. And it's also just a really cool alien looking plant. When you start to draw, again, something that can trip people up and stop them from feeling successful is just knowing which way to start your drawing, meaning should your paper be in landscape orientation or should it be in portrait orientation? Looking at this plant, you assume right away that it's, of course, lengthwise of the paper because the plant is so tall. But in actuality, you've also got that span of width in which the branches of the aloe plant are spreading outwards as well. So in order to make sure that you've got enough room to depict your plant on the page that you've got, you need to do what you've probably seen a lot of artists doing, which is to point their pencil out and see whether the plant is actually taller or wider in its form so that you know which way to place it on the page. So I'm actually just going to take a look at it. I would say that this would actually constitute a square, the shape of it, because the width of the branches are just as long as the height of the plant. So I'm going to make sure that when I put my basic shape of plant onto my paper, that I've done so in the perimeters of a square. Today I'm going to do my tutorial on a black piece of paper drawing with a white pencil crayon just because I want to use some pencil crayon to illustrate it later. But of course, just a simple blank white page and a pencil will do the trick. Some other things that help artists be great technical drawers are to make sure that you have a really sharp tip to your pencil or your drawing utensil because again, it allows for accuracy of lines. So go get a sharpener and make sure that you are drawing with precision. In this case, it seems like the pot of the plant is really, really big, but it's not in comparison with all the branches and the width and the height of those branches compared to that pot. So for instance, when I denote a circle on the page for the pot, I'm actually going to make it pretty small, just that big, so that I've got lots of room for the branches. And again, I can use that measuring idea. Well, how tall is the pot to the branches? Wow, the branches extend about twice the height of the pot. So do I even have that? No, I would have to make my pot just a little bit smaller. So that's what I mean. These circles you'll never really see in the finished drawing, but it allows me to think about how much room I've got for every part of the plant. So there's that tall bit, that tall branch, and the branches going out that way and branches going out that way. And this way, I've got a bit of a snowman going on my page. At this stage of the drawing, I've made so few marks and so little commitment. This took me about 10 or 15 seconds. Probably will take you a little bit longer, but I can definitely make adjustments to see if I think that the major parts of this plant's branches and the pot are in proportion to one another. So I can see that I might want a little bit more height, so I'm just going to define that the pot will actually finally rest somewhere around here on the page. And of course I can have that little lip of the second pot in there. And then I can start really sussing out whether this is going to work or not. Okay, that's where that big branch is going to be. The next few branches coming out. And of course, making sure I've got those branches going there. And I would say everything is going to fit on this page, which is perfect. there you have it. That's how artists go about getting a drawing out in such a quick and precise manner. Hey, it's not perfect, but it's a pretty good rendition of an aloe plant in the span of about 15 minutes. Of course, the skill takes practice, but if you remember to set up your work area well, make sure your pencil is sharp, pay attention to the negative spaces or the empty spaces in your object. Choose something simple so it's not too complicated right off the get-go. And of course, double check the relationship between all the various parts of your still life object constantly. You will be on your way to developing skills as a true talented drawer and artist.